Up everyone, welcome back to the channel. Lukey here. So in this one we're gonna do a quick little video on the gate stutter technique, or you might also know it as the trance gate technique. So basically, if you ever heard that choppy rhythmic effect, you would have heard it in a lot of older tracks back in the 90s, and even like artists like Deadmau5, Eric Prydz, Floating Points. You hear it a lot in that music. Bicep also use it a lot, and it's something that I've noticed coming back in more modern underground music. So I thought it'd be a good one to do a video on, as I have used this technique myself in quite a few of my releases. So I'm just going to show you a little example of how I use this. So this is a track that I put out earlier in the year on my own label Roundhouse. So I'm just going to give you a little preview of what this sounds like, and then I'm going to show you how you can do it yourself, and yeah, how you can use it in different tracks and get different results. So give you a little listen now. It's coming from here. So this is the sound we're going to be making. I'm going to do it for scratch for the video's sake, but I'm going to show you how I made this exact one, and I'm going to show you how I made a different kind of effect but using the same technique in a different track as well. So basically you need a source sound. It can be a sample or it can be a plug-in like a synth, VST, something long, and then you're going to need a separate channel. So I'll start it from scratch here. Let's see. Right, I'm going to open up a synth so you can follow along, and just you can use whatever synth you want. I recommend a long sound with a fast attack and with something that has a bit of sustain on it so it doesn't fade off. So I'm just going to open up Predator. Then I am going to find the sound here. So let's see. I'm going to use a pad. So I'll go ambient. No. The arms wrong. Yeah, we've armed this. Wrong synth. I'm going to classic sounds because it's a classic technique. Shit. Right. That can work. I'm going to bring the attack down. Right, so what we're going to do is... Where's the channel? Right, so I'm just going to pick a note. I'm going to extend it across the full length of the loop. Now you can have more variations in this. I'm just going to do it like this for the simplicity of the video. So now we're going to open a MIDI track, right? And then on our source sound, we'll go back to Predator. I'm going to put a gate on that. So go into your audio effects, have a gate here. Right, then we're going to open a MIDI track and just load in just a drum sound, maybe a hi-hat. So I'm just going to get a hat here. Let's groove, so samples. That'll do the job. Right, so this is going to be our trigger to open the gate. So every time this hat hits, it's going to open up that gate to let that source sound through. So we are going to turn off this channel. Going to go back to our source sound. We're going to click this little arrow here, side chain, and then we're going to pick our hi-hat. Doesn't really matter what sound you're using. And then we're going to open up this, and then wherever we hit this, it's going to trigger that. So we just say, let's do a few random ones. So now every time that hits, it's going to trigger. So look. So that is too, actually. Right, so we need to mess with this. So you can see this is triggering that. So So you mess with the threshold and the return, and that's kind of like how long the gate is kind of open for. So you can see as I'm messing with it, you can hear the difference. Look. It's a little bit longer, so you can hold it here. And then you can also add, like you can play with this a little bit, so you could add like a chord, and then just, let's say, got like something like this. Now this is just one pattern. You can also go the full length. Shit. Like this. Mess with the filter. Let's put on our drums. That sounds really nice. I'm impressed with that. So yeah, that was just from scratch. That could have went either way, but you can use a sample or a synth. When you use a synth, you have a little bit more control. You can open and close the filter. And turn that bass off. So yeah, give it a bash and see what you think. I'm just going to open up another project that I made yesterday, and I'm going to show you how I used it in that as well. So this was less of a kind of trancey, euphoric pad sound, and it was more of a like kind of a housey driving chord. So yeah, this was what I done yesterday. Same technique. So you can see I have my trigger here. I'm just using this percussion here. And then I have my gate side chain, same as I just showed, same chord as I just showed. We have some extra effects on here from Sound Toys, but yeah, this is what I made yesterday. And you can see here, look, that's just opening that gate, it's letting that chord through. A little bit of modulation here. So yeah, you can get really creative with that, and you can use it in so many different ways. I recommend just throw effects on, use different sounds and see what comes out. But yeah, we'll leave it there, gang. As always, the link is in the description. If you want to get the free pack, I'll leave it below if you want to try this out before you get any of our samples. If you do want to buy our pack, there'll be a 30% discount code for your first purchase. So yeah, we'll leave it there. Thanks for watching, gang.